Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Scott Courtier, Senior Technical Sales with InduSoft. And today we're going to be presenting ANDON Solutions and Large Format Displays, industrial PCs with our special guest, Mr. Ralph D'Amato from Comark Nematron. And as we get going today, I'm going to hand things over to Ralph, but let's first talk a little bit quickly here. Ralph, I've known Ralph for a long time, actually sat side by side with him at another company for many years, I think close to 10 years. And we're going to bring Ralph on here in a minute. But before I hand things over to Ralph, we're going to talk about why use this type of production monitoring or ANDON system. And I'll introduce a few of the different possible architectures that you can use. Then I'll hand things over to Ralph. He'll talk about why use an industrial PC, some of the benefits of an industrial PC, especially over this type of application where users might be tempted to use a TV-grade PC in an industrial environment. Ralph will talk about some of their PC products, their monitor products, and then I'll take it back and talk about some of the different tools and templates that InduSoft has to make production monitoring a little bit easier. Then we'll open it up for questions. So before I get started, if you didn't know, there's numerous awards that InduSoft has won, and just to be a little bit pushy, we're up for this year's award again, so if you wouldn't mind heading over to either the Control Engineering magazine's website or to our blog and voting for us again this year, we'd really appreciate it. So just to make you aware of that, we're up for 2 different awards this year, and if you're not already a subscriber, please feel free to subscribe and then vote, so appreciate that. So enough of that little commercial there. Why use an ANDON or production monitoring system? And first of all, what is this? It can also be called many different things. Not only ANDON, which I believe stems from a Japanese word meaning paper lantern or signaling system, often used in Toyota manufacturing, or it's one of the things used in Toyota manufacturing environments. But also called production monitoring, digital signage, or factory information systems. And basically it's a way to visualize status remotely, or sometimes what's called key performance indicators. Many different shapes, variations to this. Maybe it's a way to display the number of parts you're supposed to make in a given shift or in a given day, what's your target, what's your actual, what's your delta, are you making the right amount of parts or not? And then sometimes they go into a little bit more details with a little bit more data. I'll show you some screenshots, some examples a little bit later on. But if you think about that, quite often machines or even different processes are like printing presses for money, meaning that everything that you make in an industrial environment, manufacturing, automation, is quite often for a profit. And if that machine is not running, it's not making a profit, therefore it's not making money. And so the idea of this production monitoring system is remotely and from wherever a supervisor's at, or any employee for that matter, is to be able to keep machines or cells or many different machines running as long as you can, keep that uptime going. And if it's for whatever reason stopped, understand why it stopped and get it running again quickly. Again, making that printing press for money, start printing money again. So this type of production monitoring system, it's not like a machine HMI that might be local with maybe like a 15-inch touchscreen mounted on a machine. This is something that's hanging from the rafters or maybe in a kiosk type situation, and anybody walking by or supervisors can understand what's going on from a distance. And using symbols, using big fonts, some of the symbols that I have here, simulating stack lights, stoplight indicators, smiley faces, be able to tell what's going on from a distance. And also maybe put messages up to encourage safety and inform employees of events going on and things going on within the facility. InduSoft Web Studio, we have 3 different types of thin clients. We have a web thin client that's Internet Explorer based. That's typically for an office environment. And then we have the secure viewer thin client. And I'm going to talk mainly today about secure viewer thin client architectures before I hand it over to Ralph. And then we also have this Studio Mobile Access thin client architecture that you can display on tablets and smartphones, as well as browsers on for example, Safari or on PCs as well. So that's another way to make machines more efficient as well. But let's step into different architectures. There are many different types of architectures, but I'm going to talk about 4 kind of typical architectures that you might find in a manufacturing facility. Let me go back up here. Direct, a thin client with a single, thin client with multiple clients, and maybe a video wall type application. So let's dissect these real quick. If we have a single direct solution where maybe you're running InduSoft Web Studio on in this case it's shown on a Nematron NPC 20, and Ralph, when you get on, if you correct me if that's the wrong part number, let me know. But then this is also shown on a Comark display where you might have a large display, and Ralph's going to talk a little bit more about these products, I believe, in his presentation, where these fonts might be, 6, 8, 10 inches tall, so that you can see these mounted, high up above the machinery, so that you can see these fonts and indicators from great distances away. What are some of the benefits of this? Well, using InduSoft Web Studio, we can not only talk to PLCs, but simultaneously talk to databases, OPC servers, and other types of information, be able to show that whatever information, however you want to see it, really the sky is the limit to be able to see that from far away. So this would have a PC. In this case, we're showing a Comark Nematron PC here on the back of this monitor. This could be mounted in different ways as well. Now, taking this another step further and having maybe an industrial PC mounted on the machine, where this might be your InduSoft Web Studio runtime. This would be on the machine, and then on a plant network or a local network, also on a PC, you would install InduSoft's Secure Viewer. This is a thin client, and what that means is that it would get its information from this runtime server down here. And what are the benefits of this? What's really neat is that both of these screens can be driven from a single project. So maybe the project is here on the machine, communicating with a PLC or databases, and then sending its screens and sending its information up to this thin client, maybe hanging up over the machine and showing everybody what's going on and encouraging employees to do the best they can. Nematron and InduSoft have a co-customer, if you will, I know in the western side of Michigan, that is using this type of idea. On every machine they have a Nematron PC, and then up over the machine they're actually driving a remote monitor to show the performance of that particular machine. The real neat thing is the license actually resides on the server for this thin client. So if anything happens to it, basically you don't need to relicense this product to be able to get things going again quickly. And again, pull information from PLCs, databases, and OPC. Now let's take this concept and spread it out a little bit further, and we would have multiple thin clients. So each one of these PCs would have InduSoft Secure Viewer loaded on it. And the really neat thing is you can drive up to 128 of these Secure Viewer clients from a single server. And again, the license would reside on that runtime PC. So why would you use something like this? Maybe it's an assembly line and you want to see different zones or different areas, what their manufacturing capabilities are, or what's going on, again, their key performance indicators. And again, the licenses reside on the server. What's really neat, too, is you can have different screens on each. So I've shown here overall equipment effectiveness. I've shown maybe a factory information system that might be telling employees what's going on, maybe playing videos, today's weather, things of that nature, and then maybe tying into building automation systems and showing energy usage, or maybe just zone 1, zone 2, zone 3 from different lines is optional as well. And again, because that Secure Viewer is on there, and that's really a quick install, they're very easy to replace if necessary. Another option, too, is InduSoft Web Studio has the ability to drive resolutions as small as 240 by 240 pixels or as large as 10,000 by 10,000 pixels. So imagine this. Let's say there's a video wall with 4 separate monitors here. This is one idea where you could span an individual screen across multiple monitors, something like this. And you normally wouldn't see these individual lines, but that's where the different monitors come together. And the screens, you wouldn't actually cover up part of the screens here, but you can spread a single screen across multiple screens or segment this any way that you want to. Now this one's an example of 4 separate screens. The largest personally that I've ever been involved with has been 8 70-inch monitors, which quite frankly is huge when you see it in person. The benefits for that is you can really visualize this from very, very far away. When you start talking about that large, you're talking about many, many meters away, let's say 300 feet or so, or 100 meters away, was very easily to see those screens, and easy to create screens that span multiple monitors running off of a single instance of InduSoft Web Studio. So with that, just kind of an overview, I'm going to hand it over to Ralph.
Good morning. I'm Ralph D'Amato. I'm VP Product Management at Comark. Formerly, I ran the Industrial Computer Business Unit at Zycom, Nematron, and now Comark. And what I'm going to do is, first I want to give you a little corporate overview so you know who Comark is. You probably haven't heard that name, but we're going to let you know. And some of the capabilities we have. I'll go over some of the solutions we got. And I'll touch on, as Scott said, why industrial products. And I'll talk about that NPC 20 and the ANDON Solutions that Scott was talking about. And then I'll give you some contact information. Corporate overview. Comark was founded in 1974. It was a family-owned business concentrated mostly on custom assemblies. In June 2014, they acquired Nematron and me. In October 2014, they expanded to Milford, Massachusetts, and they're in a 60,000 square foot facility. As it is now, we have 121 employees in 3 locations. We have 2 additional locations, one here in Ann Arbor and one in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Our mission is to design and manufacture mission-critical ruggedized computer, display, and automation solutions by offering a wide portfolio of solutions. You'll see that in a minute. Just for confidence, we do 12,000 LCD displays, computer systems per year. We have over 120,000 out there. I've been very involved in 5 to 10 year life cycles. We follow the embedded roadmap. We do a number of things to make sure that happens. Comark is an ISO 9001 facility. We have obsolescence management, all the tools, Kanban, 5S, everything to make our production world-class. Some of the capabilities, full line of hardware, mechanical, optical for displays. We have software engineering that does embedded operating systems and Linux. We're part of the International Maritime Organization. We have some marine items. Full complement of testing. We have an EMI test chamber, vibration, temperature. We have a color calibration. We have an anechoic chamber. And one of the crowning glories, because we've done military items, is a HALT-HAS testing. If you're familiar with that, it's temperature and humidity and vibe all in the same time. It's required for a lot of mil-spec items. You can see it can go very temperature extremes from like minus 100 to 100, and it can do repetitive shock while it's in those temperature ranges. So, solutions-wise, Comark has done a lot of specialty computers. We've done military node boxes. These are display units. I don't remember what they're for, but they're a military application. Marine displays. We do building automation. We have one of the few UL 864 certified for fire systems. This is one of our bigger markets. We have some very large customers for building automation. We do a number of kiosks, smart buildings. It goes along with our building automation segment. But recently, there's been a huge surge in correctional facilities. Believe it or not, prisoners can go in and get supplies, visitor registration. They're using kiosks in a lot of those. So you can imagine they got to be pretty rugged. We've done many displays. I think Scott already showed one of the more military large screen displays. We've done smart displays that have boards in it, ANDON, like we're talking about. And one of the crowning glories of Comark is we were original partner in a City Bridge partnership. Qualcomm is one of the members, and that partnership was put together for a project called Link New York City. And that is to replace all the phone booths in New York City with dual sunlight readable 55-inch LCD displays, phone service, Wi-Fi hotspots, smart advertising. I think it even has a camera in it. So if somebody breaks it, they can catch them. These things are about 9 foot tall, and they're replacing all the phone booths. Comark has spun that off, and it's now called Civic Smartscapes, but that gives you an idea of some of the stuff that we've done. Comark personnel actually designed this, and we're the hardware manufacturer. I told you that Comark purchased Nematron. Nematron is noted for our high-performance panel mount computers and displays with lots of agency compliances. UL, CUL, we have ATEX Zone 2 and 22. We will soon have IECX for international applications. And we address a lot of vertical markets. I'm not going to go into every one of the products. If you need an industrial product, after I get done telling you why, we have a full complement of monitors from 12 up to 22 right now. We have a sunlight readable. We have several nodes. We're going to concentrate on this NBC20. We can go into more detail as you need. So why industrial by Comark? We supply our customers with industry-leading products. We have quick delivery. They're designed, state-of-the-art products, and they're designed for harsh environments. Many commercial-type PCs aren't designed to be in high temp or high dust conditions or shock and vibe. We make them all here in America, which is in the automotive industry gets a lot of points. Most of our units are designed to 55C. If you buy your commercial PC to run your ANDON system, you're probably lucky if it'll survive at 30C. So there's a big difference here. You won't find an optional stainless steel bezel on commercial PCs. We offer a 2-year warranty, and we have extended warranties available. Almost all our products are UL and CUL approved. A lot of them are part of the panel builders program, so they can be easily brought into systems and get UL on the whole system. One of our major areas is oil and gas with Class 1 Div 2 and ATEX Zone 2. A lot of the competitors, they have an IT standard for UL certs, and that is for homes, churches, and businesses. It's not really a factory industrial UL certification. I touched on this. We follow the embedded roadmaps, and we guarantee a 5-year availability on our products, especially the C1D2, where they're designed into a system that cannot change. One of our benefits is extremely simple hard drive, DVD, and PCI expansion. From years of doing this, we know what customers want, and that is one of the nicest things of our PCs. Storage options, we now ship standard with solid-state drives. of many years of running industrial PCs, the Achilles heel of a computer is the hard drive, and I love solid-state drives. We have virtually no calls anymore with bad drives. That was probably our number one service issue for many years, and now with solid-state drives, I don't have that issue. We do. Some people demand a rotating drive. We do offer a hybrid drive, which operates very fast. And on our SSDs, in most of our units, we actually put a 5-year part warranty on them. That's how confident we are in them for our applications. Just to highlight some of the differences, I think the big one here is the shock levels it'll handle, the temperature range. But even better, when you're in an industrial application, power usually isn't an issue, but when you have, you can see a lot of difference in wattage here. When you're talking milliwatts versus watts, there's a lot difference in temperature, and temperature is one of the worst factors for a hard drive. So by reducing the wattage, we're reducing the temperature. We tend to use, we do use internal power supplies. We shy away from, when you buy your desktop PC, it has a very inexpensive ATX power supply, and those are unreliable. Plus, you also need to hit a button every time you want to start it. A lot of our computers are set up so that if you start the machine or start your display, it's going to turn on. So our primary PC failure points are addressed. We have good designs for heat dissipation, the solid state, medical grade power supplies. We have the points covered to make an industrial the value that you want over a commercial item. So Scott asked me to kind of highlight the solution that we felt for ANDON systems, and he already touched on the NPC-20. This is one of our newer products, and originally I didn't have a ruler in here, but that is literally 6 inches. You can hold this in your hand. It is a full 64-bit operating system, solid-state drive, and has dual or quad-core options and lots of mounting options. This is a great platform for what Scott is trying to show you. We have a dual-core or quad-core option. You can get up to 8 gig of DRAM in this. We offer the solid-state drives. We have an optional AC power supply. It is 24 DC supplied. We ship standard with Windows 7 Pro or Ultimate. It can be configured with embedded Windows 7 or Linux as required. It's a perfect platform for bundling with Web Studio. And as Scott will probably attest to, just about any version you want to use. Some of the I/O, it has 2 Ethernet ports, a serial port, 2 USBs, audio, and it has dual video capability, so you could run 2 large screens with this unit. One of the nice things is the mounting options. It comes with a DIN rail bracket that you can mount on the back for a vertical DIN rail. You can move it to the side and do a horizontal. The shelf brackets come with the unit. If you want to bolt it up somewhere, you can use the mounting holes. We sell a bracket that goes on a Visa 75 or 100 millimeter Visa mount, and you can then attach it to the back of any of your monitors, any of our monitors. The large screen displays, and we touched on this a little bit. 21.5 to 55 HD displays are available. We have panel mount, standalone, Visa or shelf mount options, and we have done larger screens, and we can design what you need. So, Comark, Nematron, and InduSoft, I think we can supply the solution you need for your ANDON application, and I think we can help. I know we can help. So basically, if you need a question on any of these, the easiest way to get a hold of us is just sales@nematron.com, and our regional managers will work with you. They'll respond very quickly. Our main headquarters are in Milford, Massachusetts, as I mentioned, And there's the contact information, or I'm here in Ann Arbor. It's a sales and support office for the mainly the Nematron product line, but we do all of them. That's available there too. And that was a quick overview of what we can offer you to address these ANDON systems and industrial applications. I'm done, and I thank you for your time. I'll turn it back over to Scott.
Ralph, if you could go ahead and back up a slide and put that contact information up, leave that up while I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions here.
Okay.
So again, for those attendees, we can't hear you on this type of webinar. So if you have questions, put those into the chat panel or the Q&A panel. I'm going to ask Ralph a couple of quick questions before I go back into my part of the presentation. Ralph, you touched on a few times Class 1 Division, Class 1 Division 2, and ATEX approval. I know from both of our backgrounds that's dealing with hazardous locations. Do you want to touch on what environments those types of approvals might be required?
Class 1 Division 2 is a possibility of a hazardous condition. And when you're in chemical processing plants, oil and gas, some food actually, there's a possibility of a condition that could cause a explosive material to be in contact. Our products are tested by UL and approved by UL for a temperature, so you know the ignition temperature that they'll see, that they don't cause sparks. And then the ATEX is actually a European standard, which is tied to IECX, which is an international standard for those hazardous locations.
So you might see something like that in a paint shop or a chemical facility, and so a standard off-the-shelf TV type monitor or even a computer is not going to have those types of ratings, will it?
That's correct.
Okay. And also you talked about some of the EMC noise immunity. I can tell you myself, being in a General Motors plant years ago, I saw a person that happened to have a walkie-talkie in their hand walk by an office-grade computer and push the talk button, and the computer reset. So things like that are really necessary when you're talking about critical information being displayed. The other thing that I wanted to bring up, and Ralph, you kind of touched on it, you mentioned the embedded product roadmap from some of the different processors and different motherboards and things like that. That lends to longevity of the product availability, right?
Yes. Most, Intel comes out with processors on a regular basis, and if you look at, I always say Best Buy on Sunday, there's a computer in there. A month later, you won't find that computer. That processor's long gone. The embedded group takes a few of those processors and puts them on a 5-year roadmap. That's how we can make sure that we can supply this computer for 5 years.
So customers can actually buy the same.
Yeah.
So they could buy the same part number for several years, so to speak, rather than having to specify something new and different, and maybe having different mountings and different like
BIOS and different software, and that saves time for OEMs.
Yeah, and I also looked, some PCs, commercial grade PCs, are rated for. I looked it up while you were talking because I wasn't sure anymore. They're rated for 35 degrees C, which Fahrenheit is in the 90 some odd degree range. And most industrial plants are going to be that temperature. So when you're talking about this type of system that's maybe mounted up, up high or in the rafters, where if it takes a replacement of this to maybe they have to get out a forklift or some kind of lift vehicle and get harnessed up and strapped in for safety and put on hard hats to be able to repair something like this, downtime becomes very critical and costly. So I've seen a few different facilities that were thinking about putting in, off-the-shelf TV-type systems, really rethink what they're doing, because as soon as they have to change one of those out, that cost goes out the window.
Yep, correct.
Yep. All right. So again, if you have any questions for us, please feel free to put that in. Ralph, I'm going to, unless you have any other comments, I'm going to stick you on mute.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. All right. I'll bring you back in as we sign off here in a few minutes. So what tools and different templates and things are available from InduSoft? Well, we have a whole host of things. Some things I'm going to cover here real quickly in the next few minutes are some ANDON symbols that we made specifically for production monitoring. We also have an add-on product called the Business Intelligence Dashboard, which is here, that gives you a very quick way to grab data out of any database and be able to display that on a large screen or even a small screen, but kind of do away with clipboards and do away with the cork boards that you might be monitoring production status or a quality status type meeting. Also wanted to talk briefly about our overall equipment effectiveness template that we have. I'll show it to you. It's built into the demo part of the PC demo. In fact, let me get InduSoft loaded up here in the background while we go on. And then we can talk about different things about playing tunes or announcements, and I'll show you a little bit about that. And some of these other things I'll bring up. But let me bring in the InduSoft website here real quick and expand this. If you go to our store, for example, here on the top navigation, if you go to the free add-ons, we have what we call the symbol of the week. And if I scroll down here through some of the different symbols that we have, you can see here we have, I think I showed these in my part of my presentation, stoplight indicators. You might put those on a large screen, different trends, different tools. So for example, here's some dashboard type symbols, some stack light type symbols. But what I really wanted to point out is, let's see, did I miss it here? I did. These symbols right here, production monitoring or ANDON symbol set. So a really nice symbol set with large, very clear displays to be able to show things like what's your target, what's your actual production, how far you are off. And for example, there's thresholds for these. So for example, you can display a number that's maybe your actual production and set a separate value that's your threshold. So for example, if you've crossed the threshold showing good production, the number might change green, and if you're close to it, it might show yellow, and if you're nowhere near it yet, it shows red. And then we also have symbols that will show things like graphs or gauges, meters, and then not only did we do square sets, but we did kind of a linear type set, different formats. And when we did this, we put together the symbol set, and you'll now find that in our version 8 of our product that these symbols are built in. You don't have to go to the website and download those anymore. But as we add new ones, we'll be adding to this website. But when we added these, wanted to make this real clear and real easy to understand how quickly you can actually deploy this type of system. So if you have the hardware set up, we created this video here, and under 15 minutes, starting from scratch, created a high-def 1920 by 1080 production monitoring, complete with the screen, the background, the title, tying to 3 separate ways of getting information from the PLC and tying that in there. And we did it in under 15 minutes using that symbol set. So very easy, drag and drop, tie it to your address, and pretty much you're done at that point. So very easy. I'd like to encourage you to take a look at that video if this type of thing is of interest to you. I also want to go back here to the add-ons section of the website. So here under Products and Download Add-ons, you're going to find this Business Intelligence Dashboard template. And what this is actually an InduSoft project. It's one of the few things that we charge extra for because it's a separate tool. And what it's meant for is the ability to grab business intelligence information. So one might actually use this, and it's really easy to use in the fact that basically you open it up and you point to what is your data source. And right now we support either Microsoft Access or Microsoft SQL Server. We can add others in there if required, but right now it supports that. And it doesn't have to be data that's been logged by InduSoft Web Studio. It could be data that's come from any source. Other production systems, if it's in one of these either Access or Microsoft SQL Server databases, we can get at it. So basically you point it at the data source and then you define your screen. So for example, this screen is divided up into 3 sections. I've got 2 on the left and 1 big one on the right. You can say, okay, I want 2 different sections, one on the top and the bottom, or 1 giant one in the middle of the screen. You get to choose that. You basically lay that out and say, okay, in each one of those, I want a pie chart, a line chart, a Pareto graph, tables, however you want your information to be shown, and then pick which one of those data sources, and boom, that information just appears there. So very easily dive into existing data sets to be able to get out what's going on. And if you're familiar with motion control, real big thing in motion control is being able to feed back the information of where you are compared to where you think you are and where you're going, and be able to adjust that positioning, that motion. And this is kind of the same way for manufacturing. Are we doing what we're supposed to be doing? Are we being as efficient as we can? And what are the problems associated with that? And feed that back into the system and make things more efficient. And as I mentioned earlier in my part of the presentation, you know, if you think of a machine or whatever process you're doing as a printing press for money, as long as that thing is running and as efficient as it can, it's basically printing money at that point. So we have that template. For more information, get a hold of your InduSoft distributor, or you can download our brochure here, or I'll put up some contact information here in just a minute. Going back to my PowerPoint here. So that was a business intelligence dashboard. I showed the ANDON symbols. I also wanted to talk about this OEE template here. The overall equipment effectiveness is kind of a tool that people are using a lot in manufacturing. And the idea is, if a machine is supposed to be running for, let's say, an 8-hour shift, which is pretty typical in the U.S., if it's supposed to be running for 8 hours and it's only running for 6, what is it doing for those other 2 hours? And if you can fix or make those areas more efficient, 2 hours out of an 8-hour shift is 25% of your production. So built into our standard PC demo, which I'm going to launch here, is this template for overall equipment effectiveness. We've got some of these are available on our website. We've got different tools that are available, but I wanted to show this to you because you can actually take this right out of this demo, and feel free to modify it, add to it, create your own, but basically it's yours to use. So let's see here. Where am I running here in the background? What am I doing here? I think I clicked on something at the same time I clicked on this, but I'll bring that tool up here. But again, the idea is to kind of what's called grab the low-hanging fruit, which would be to fix the problems that are very easy to find and see what's going on. And let's see, where does this go here in the background? To be able to fix those problems fast. And let's see, for whatever reason here, let's try this again. So again, this is the demo that comes pre-installed with InduSoft Web Studio version 8. And not only does it show the product, but in kind of a sales type format, it shows all the features of the product. And you can feel free to take from this and copy scripts and things of that nature. But we also have this section here for solutions. And over here on the right-hand side, not only do we have an ANDON section, so here might be a machine, and you can see this, put this on a big screen, if you will, but here's that overall equipment effectiveness. So I can choose which machine, maybe, out of different machines or different zones, and you'll see the data change. Now, this is coming from a database that was previously logged, and I can choose my current shift, today, this week, this month, this year, based on each machine, and you can see how the different data changes and how much uptime, how much idle time, how much total time, and kind of dissecting the information. And in this case, we're breaking down the top 6 big losses and being able to dive into that. And again, maybe take the biggest one. Where are the issues? Maybe we've had to slow down production because we've had a bad batch of something, or Maybe somebody wanted to get out of the office early or get out of the plant early, so they sped things up and caused a bunch of problems. Well, you can kind of track that and understand what's causing the problems and fix those without adding additional, this is key, without adding additional capital equipment or without adding additional personnel, which in this day and age is kind of tough to justify. So that template is available as well. Also, part of the product, you can use the built-in scripting language. I'm just going to show you an example here of what you could do. I'm going to open up the technical reference and go into part of the built-in scripting language here. And there's a section under multimedia functions, and we can play a WAV file. And this will allow you to play a WAV file based on a file on the hard drive. So through the PC speaker or amplified to a sound system. I've been in many plants where they've played amusing little tunes like Mary Had a Little Lamb or Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or other things that if the machine is down, that tune plays, and then the maintenance person knows from anywhere in the plant that they can hear that to go fix that machine. Or you could send an email or a text message or other ways to do that. But what's really funny is if they're playing these sounds, playing these tunes over and over and over again, even the people that are not responsible for fixing the machine, they'll go find that maintenance person and drag them over to the machine and make them fix it just so they don't have to hear that tune anymore. So I've seen that in numerous plants, and it's kind of funny to watch that happen. Let's see, what were some of the other things that I wanted to talk about here? So playing tunes, also playing videos. One of the screens that both Ralph and I had in our presentation, I wanted to jump back here and show you real quick. This particular screen here actually shows a video looping, and maybe it's talking about some training or talking about something that's going on or wanted to show plant information. You could tie these not only in a production environment, but also show these in a cafeteria or a lobby of a facility, and they could all be tied on the plant network. They don't have to be physically close together. They could be hundreds of meters away or even in different plants running from the same server. And again, we can go up to 128. You get one of these clients included with your runtime, and then additional cost to add on multiples, again, up to 128. But you could tie into not only production systems, but factory information systems, employee information. Don't forget to turn in your timesheet or your health benefits are due today, things of that nature, or even tie into building automation systems. We tie into building automation systems as well that way. Or, as Ralph mentioned, maybe in a detention environment, you wanted to show live video from a webcam. Put that on several strategic locations, so the guards and security guards can actually see that in the remote facilities, the guard shack, and other places where they might need that as well. So there's some opportunities to play videos or show cameras. Other really neat sources here is to be able to connect to databases and get that information and combine information with PLCs and ERP and MES systems. Earlier this year, I did a project where we were grabbing information from a Siemens PLC, Schneider PLC, simultaneously putting that on the screen, and then their production data system, so a SQL database, and then being able to show that spread across 19 different monitors hanging from the rafters. Was kind of a really neat application to be able to grab all of that information from all of those different sources and be able to display that. And one of the things that those guys are worried about is in an industrial environment, having an industrial type monitor hanging from the rafters as opposed to a TV. They very much settled on an industrial type screen, and being able to drive that from an industrial PC really stay running a long time. Let's see. Another application that I was involved with was kind of more this type scenario where They had one server running and then multiple secure viewer clients. And what they did here was really interesting. Now, I mentioned this is that you can show different screens on each of these. And so the project is really running on the runtime, and then the remote secure viewer thin clients are actually getting their screen information and their data from the main runtime server. In one application that I did, this ended up being, instead of screens that were developed in InduSoft Web Studio, they were showing their production information on web pages. And they had the web pages that were being served up elsewhere in their plant. And so what ended up being very neat was they had one application running on their server. It was one screen with one object on it, which was a web browser, and there was a script, one single script running in the background that determined which PC or which viewer am I. I'm viewer number 1, I'm viewer number 2, I'm viewer number 3, I'm viewer number 128. And if I'm viewer number 2, I go to this URL. If I'm viewer number 5, I go to a different URL, and I show different production information. And by doing that, again, we had one screen with one object and one script, and it drove, in this case, it was 50 different secure viewers hanging up in the rafters. It was a very efficient application, and eventually we changed it so instead of configuring that in the application, somebody would actually change it in Excel, and the application would read the URL from the Excel file and then update the screens remotely. And that being a very efficient, again, one screen with one object with one script, driving 50 different production monitors in the sky. So those are some of the reasons why you might use InduSoft Web Studio, Nematron, Comark, industrial PCs and monitors hanging up in the rafters. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show for this webinar. I want to, again, open it up to questions. So if there's any questions, please feel free to put those into the chat panel or the Q&A panel, and Ralph or myself will be happy to take those, and hopefully we can answer those. If there's no questions, that's also great too. Any questions that you guys have? Ralph, I'm going to open up your video, your audio. You there still?
Yes, I'm here.
Any comments or something that you would like to add?
I'd like to thank everybody for attending, and let us try to help you.
Great. Yeah, thank you for your time, Ralph. Great information. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Let's see, making sure that there's no questions here. Oh, yeah, actually, we do have a couple of questions. They scrolled off the bottom of the screen. Let's see. So a question from my part of the presentation is, what level of PC hardware platform processor is required on a server with multiple thin clients? Great question. The way that InduSoft works is we don't compile the project. We work off of configuration files. And part of what that means is it's quicker to deploy. It's very efficient. And when using thin clients, it's not like you're streaming video like a remote desktop solution might need. It actually sends the screens, and then it gets the data really only on exception basis. So it's extremely efficient in how it gets that. You really don't need a very high-end PC to be able to serve this up. An off-the-shelf, Celeron type processor, even low-end, maybe an i3, Core i3 type processor is really all that's needed for many of the applications. Even some of the high-end, you don't even need real high-end server class machines. Core i5, Core i7 would happily serve up many thin clients as well. Question came in specifically for Ralph that the MPC-20 was exactly what this customer was looking for, and they sent in their contact information. So Ralph, I'll pass that along to you when we finish this up. Let's see. Looks like you already got that. Question came in, Ralph. How big of what's the largest screens that Comark can support?
I think they've done a 70. I'm not 100% certain, but I know they've done a 60. I think they have done a 70.
Okay, great. Those are quite large. I know really hanging up in the rafters, anything, 40 some odd inch and above is usually required for that type. Kiosks might be a little bit different. Any other questions that we have for either Ralph or myself covering the Comark Nematron hardware or InduSoft capabilities here? I don't see any questions coming in. So we'll leave it open for just here another minute or so. Ralph, we've known each other a long time. I'd like to thank you for co-hosting this webinar with us. Great job. I learned a lot about the Comark products and the offerings that you guys have and what you guys have now in your arsenal, different products. And the kiosk looks really neat as well. And as I understand it, I don't know the exact number, but InduSoft has quite a large installation within detention automation as well. So maybe there's something we can do to work together there. Yeah. Question is, why use Secure Viewer versus standard thin client? So Secure Viewer, if we go back to, let's see if I can do this here. Secure Viewer client versus, I think when somebody is asking about the standard thin client, is talking about our web thin client offering. I'm going to go back up to the slide. So the Secure Viewer thin client, it basically goes edge to edge, and you can't tell that it's a thin client. It looks just like the real runtime server, as opposed to the web thin client, which needs to be in Internet Explorer. You still have that Internet Explorer window or the frame or the address bar. And sure, you can put that into kiosk mode, but that's a little bit tougher to manage as opposed to Secure Viewer, which again is meant to go edge to edge. You can't Control Alt Delete to get out of it. It's more for this type of platform. Another question came in: is the auto select script available? I'm not sure what auto select script is. If you can clarify that question. I will tell you this, that using Secure Viewer or any of the thin clients for that matter, as we get into a situation where we have multiple thin clients, the fact that they're being driven off of one runtime, and I've shown here different screens, but usually when this starts up, you would start up with the same screen on all of them. We have scripts available, or contact our support group if you need to, on how to start up with a different screen on each one of those runtimes. So hopefully that answers your question. It's pretty much which one am I, and then which screen do I start up on is how you do that. And the idea is we use this concept of local scope tags or server scope tags, and you would use a local scope tag to be able to determine which one of these am I and be able to launch a particular screen on startup. So good. Looks like I answered that question. So you can contact support, or you can get a hold of me, or feel free to shoot us an email at info@indusoft.com, and we'll make sure that we get that to you. Let's see. Any other questions? I don't see any others coming in. So with that, again, Ralph, thank you very much. We really appreciate your time and Comark and Nematron affording you the time to be able to do this. And everybody else who's joined us today, we really appreciate your attendance, and we know everybody's time is limited. And let us know in the survey how we did and what you'd like to see in future webinars. Ralph, again, thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
All right. We're going to go ahead and end the morning webinar. And thank you again, and have a great day.